Good morning, guys, and welcome back to another Sunday meal prep. I am so excited that you are joining me again for another prep today. There comes Mr. Charlie in. He is finishing up his part of the prep. We're getting ready to make our lunch. You want to say hello?
Hey, guys.
He's going to have to go to the store and get me another cantaloupe. That cantaloupe was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a little greenish, brownish tinge to it. I tried a bite of it, but no good. So he is going to have to make a little run to the store, but we are going to make our pizzas for lunch because you know us, we get such a late start. It is already 1 o'clock. It's a little bit after 1 o'clock, so not too bad today. But by the time that I eat and get started, it's going to be 2 o'clock, and then it'll be 5, 6 o'clock by the time that I get done. But with all of that being said, if you are new here, my name is Jennifer, and I like to meal prep each week and record it and put it out there just for y'all's benefit to give y'all some ideas. And if that is something that you are interested in, I would love it if you'd go ahead and subscribe. Here is my Instagram handle as well if you want to follow me over there, and then I have a really great Facebook group called Finding Our Way. There is a direct link down in the description box to that Facebook group, and so join the family. I follow Weight Watchers, and Charlie and I have been prepping like this for about 3 years now, so we love it. It is a lot of work on Sundays, but then we really don't have to do anything for the rest of the week other than heat up our food. So for today's menu, we are actually going to have some repeat meals. The past couple of meal preps I've tried some new meals. We did not like our chicken pepper recipe that we had last week, so I definitely don't recommend that one. So we wanted something that we knew that we would like this week. It's a nice chilly week. We've kind of had some warm weather. It's pretty and sunny out there right now, but we've kind of had some warm weather lately, and this week is going to be a little bit on the cooler side. So we have some chicken noodle soup, that homemade chicken noodle soup that Charlie loves so much. If you haven't tried that, definitely make it. It is really good. It is worth it. It is from budgetbites.com. I will have it linked down below. It comes out to very low points because I use the Fiber Gourmet pasta, but you can use egg noodles, whatever you want to. And then I'm going to make my Kung Pao chicken because that sounds good with some stir-fry vegetables and some cauliflower fried rice. And then for dessert, I'm going to make some Hannah banana bread because I have 4 really ripe bananas over here. I don't know if I'm going to use all 4 of them. I think the recipe calls for 3, but they're looking a little bit on the small side. So some of them have even kind of busted open, so I might have to cut some of them off. So I may use them all. But anywho, with all of that being said, let's just get into the video and roll into Charlie's prep now. Okay, I am ready to start on the homemade chicken noodle soup. Again, this recipe is from budgetbites.com, and I will have a link down below. I pretty much cook it as listed, except I do not use the olive oil and I do not use the onion. I just use my olive oil spray, and then, you know, we always usually leave the onion out just because that is our preference. So you need 2 chicken breasts. I have 2 chicken breasts here that Charlie has trimmed up nicely for me. It calls for half a pound of carrots. I think that's a full pound. It's fine. We will use it. He diced up a lot of that celery. I had kind of like one of those big packs that was like half stalks or whatever. But I will go ahead and use that as well. We're going to saute that in some garlic and then add in, let's see here, some parsley flakes, some thyme, a bay leaf. We need salt and pepper, 8 cups of water. I'm also going to add in a whole container of chicken broth. I need to get that out because I find that as it cooks, there's not enough liquid left if you just use the water. You can't, plus it also calls for bone-in chicken. I do take that back. I do not use bone-in chicken. I use just the chicken breast. So I do like to add the chicken broth just to give it that extra flavor. So Anyway, that's what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to add the olive oil spray and the garlic, cook that just for a minute, and then we're going to saute the carrots and the celery. I'm going to use this nice big pot here. This is perfect for the chicken noodle soup. Once we kind of get everything brown, then we'll add in the chicken and everything, and then we'll add the noodles in last and just let those cook for a little while. I like to use the Fiber Gourmet Light Rotini. It does call for egg noodles, but I've always used this. Comes out great. I think this ends up coming out to like 2 points per serving for me. But of course I will have all of that linked down in the description box below. So I'm going to get started. Get my garlic in here, my celery and my carrots, and get everything sauteed up. And then this does have to cook for a little bit over an hour to make sure that the chicken is cooked through. So let me get that going, and then I'll check back in with y'all. Okay, so in here I have my 3 cloves of garlic, which I just did 3 teaspoons of that minced garlic, my carrots and celery. This will take a few minutes to cook. Basically, I'm just going to saute this until everything is softened up, and then we will add in the chicken, the seasonings, the bay leaves, water, chicken broth, all of that good stuff. So I will be back momentarily. Okay, so the celery and carrots are pretty much sauteed. I'm scared I'm about to burn the garlic, so we're going to go ahead and go in with everything. I've salted and peppered one side of the chicken breast, so I'm going to just put the chicken breast in and then salt and pepper the other side. And we're just going to sprinkle a little bit on here of each one. We do add extra salt later, which is actually very important for this recipe to taste good, in my opinion. But we kind of do that at the end. So there is the chicken in there, the salt and pepper. I have my seasonings out here. I forgot to add also there is basil in here, so I'm going to go ahead and just dump all of that in. And then I'm going to go in with my 8 cups of water. And then I'm also going to go ahead and go in with my container of chicken broth. Okay, so here's what we got so far. I'm just going to kind of give it a good stir. Now we have to bring it to a boil. I'm going to put the lid on, and then it has to boil for an hour. So while that is boiling, I'm going to probably get my breakfast made. I haven't done that yet. I just wanted to go ahead and get this on, and then may make the corn muffins if I have time. We'll see. I still have to do my fruit bowls since that cantaloupe was bad. Charlie just left to go to the store and get another cantaloupe for me, take my car and wash it and fill it up with gas, all of that good stuff. So we're going to put the lid on this. Once it gets to a good boil, I'm going to turn it down, but you want to make sure that it is still at a nice rolling boil. Okay, don't turn it down too low to where it's not boiling, to where it doesn't cook the chicken all the way through. So we're on high right now. I will check it and be back later. Then we will finish it up with the salt and the egg noodles and stuff like that. Alrighty, I have my fruit bowls ready, my yogurt bowls ready. For those of you that are new here, I do have that as my side to my sandwiches every day for lunch, and then also as a side whenever I make my pizzas. And then I have my 5 containers of scrambled eggs ready, and my 10 pieces of perfectly cooked bacon in the microwave. Love it that way. I know I always say it, but try it and then you'll see what I mean. It's great. So I'm going to put all of this away. The chicken soup is still cooking. It says 17 minutes, so I'm going to mix up the corn muffins and get those in the oven real quick, and hopefully everything will be done about the same time with that meal, and then we can make the Kung Pao chicken. Alright, so I am getting ready to make the corn muffins. I know y'all have seen me make these a million times, so I'm just going to make this real quick. I'm just going to go over it for anyone that is new here. I do like to use the Martha White Hot Rise Yellow Cornmeal Mix. So you do 1.5 cups of that, which I already have in the bowl. I'm going to do 1.5 cans of cream style corn, and then just 3 tablespoons of egg whites. I'm going to mix that up real good and divide it into 12 muffins. I've already sprayed this pan, and it is going to bake at 400 degrees for about 12 minutes or so. Then I'm going to put it up on the top rack and broil it so that they are nice and crispy on top. This is very easy, perfect side to soups and chilies and stuff like that. So let me mix it up real quick, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, here are the muffins ready to go in the oven. I just thought that I would do a quick little transition. Luna's also popped her head up here to say hi. But we'll do a quick little transition and show you the finished ones here in just 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. The muffins are done. I let them brown really good on the top, so hopefully these are delicious with our soup. I know they usually are. Looking good. I like how nice and brown they are on the edges there. So I'm going to go ahead and plate up my soup, and then we'll show you that and then move on to the Kung Pao chicken. Okay, so the soup has been boiling at a good boil for an hour, and I've taken the 2 chicken breasts out. It just says to lightly shred them with 2 forks. It should just pull apart like butter. I mean, you should hardly have to use any effort at all, and it doesn't have to be tiny little pieces. You don't want too big of chunks though. I just kind of shred it up like normal. Then we're going to go back in with this, and then we're going to add about 2 to 3 good teaspoons of salt, and that really does help the flavor of the soup. I think it is an important step. And then we're going to add in the rotini noodles and cook those for about 7 or 8 minutes or so, and then it will be done and ready to plate up. If you needed to add more liquid at this point, you always could. I did add a little bit more water just because it kind of cooked down quite a bit. Okay, so chicken is shredded good. We're gonna go back in with this. Then we're gonna go in probably with about 3 teaspoons of salt. There's the soup, so you can see it up close. Really all you can see is the chicken, and it needs to start boiling again. It's cooled off. So we are gonna do, I would say, 3 good teaspoons of salt. It does help bring out the flavor, and it is delicious. Let's give it a good stir. You can see all of the carrots and the celery and everything in there. It's looking delicious. Now we're gonna just put our rotini noodles in. Let me grab that box. Okay, again, it calls for egg noodles, but I've always used the Fiber Gourmet light rotini. And this is 8 ounces. I think this is 2 to 3 points per serving. That's 4 servings in there. So that's really the only points in this soup is the noodles. And then the corn muffins end up to be 3 points each. So I'm going to kind of get this back up to a boil and then let the noodles cook for about 7 minutes, and we will be ready to plate up. Okay, so here is the completed chicken noodle soup. All of the bowls are nice and full, actually very heavy as well. And then, of course, there are my corn muffins. I do like to put them in this container. It does have a lid on it, snaps closed, and then we just keep them in the refrigerator. So, looking good, smelling good. Now let's move on to the Kung Pao chicken. Alrighty, I'm getting ready to start on the Kung Pao chicken. I have my 3 chicken breasts here that Charlie diced up for me. I'm of course going to do salt and pepper on it, and then I'm going to do some ground cumin and some chili powder as well. And then I need basically 1 cupful of the Kung Pao sauce to mix in there. I kind of mix that in last after I get the chicken done. For the fried rice, I'm going to do 3 bags of the cauliflower rice, and then I just need the fried rice seasoning mix, and then some garlic and some soy sauce and an egg. And then these were literally the only stir-fry veggies that I could find, so I'm just going to heat these up in the microwave and then mix them in with the chicken and stuff once it is done. So this meal does kind of come together pretty quick, even though there's a few components. I'm going to get the cauliflower rice going so that it can start to soften up, and I did break these up before I put them in the pan, and get my stir fry in the microwave, and then we'll be back and get started on the chicken. Okay, so I just put my 3 bags of cauliflower rice in, and I'm just going to put some salt and pepper on it and basically let it completely thaw out. Then we will add in the soy sauce, the fried rice seasoning packet, and the we'll scramble the egg last and mix it up in here. This is very easy to make, and it tastes just like real fried rice. Alright, I'm just going to give that a little stir, and then we're going to pop the lid on this and get started on the chicken. Alright, sorry if the light is a little bit orange, but I turned the little overhead light thing on because it's dark outside already. This is how late it's taken me today. But I've got my chicken in here. We are just putting some salt and pepper on it for right now, and going to basically cook it until it's about done. Here in a minute I'll go ahead and add in some ground cumin and chili powder. And then once it's about done, once it's getting kind of crispy, then we will add in the Kung Pao sauce. And I have the veggies going in the microwave. The fried rice is heating up. So I'm going to kind of get everything measured out. The soy sauce, the minced garlic that I need, and the egg. I'm going to go and get that cracked for the fried rice, and get the Kung Pao sauce, a cup of that measured out to put in here. So everything will be ready to go. Once this kind of gets going, this meal, you can get it done really quick. Alrighty, so our chicken is looking good. We've seasoned it up. It's nice and brown. I'm gonna add about half of this Kung Pao sauce and just kind of let this simmer for a little while. And then we will add in the vegetables and then add the rest of the Kung Pao sauce to the veggies. This one is not the Panda Express. This is the Kroger brand. I've never used this one before, so I don't really know how it's going to be. It's a lot thinner than the Panda Express one, so we'll see how it ends up. But I mean, it smells good, so hopefully it'll taste about the same. Now our cauliflower over here is just about ready. It is nice and softened up. I'm going to turn the heat down on it a little bit so that we don't burn it. And we're going to go in with a big heaping teaspoon of the garlic, or like 1 garlic clove or 2 maybe. I like to put a heaping teaspoon in. And we're gonna go in with the fried rice seasoning packet. And then I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons of the low sodium soy sauce in there. And I'm gonna let that cook down for a few minutes, and then we'll be back and scramble the egg and mix that in, and then this will pretty much be done. Okay, so I got my veggies in here. I used to cook them in a skillet and then I would mix everything, but now I just heat them in the microwave and then just let them simmer in the chicken. Hey, hush, Ozzy. Sorry, Ozzy's barking like he always does. I just like to mix it in here. I need to add the rest of the Kung Pao sauce, and then it's just as good as whenever I cooked it on the skillet, and that's one less pan I have to mess up. So that's pretty much going to finish up everything that I have to do for the actual Kung Pao chicken. I'm going to just turn this down on the lowest heat, and we will finish up the fried rice. It should be about ready now. See if I can hold the camera and do this at the same time. So I pushed all of the cauliflower over to one side, and then we are just going to scramble our egg, and then we will mix it in with the cauliflower rice. It really kind of gives it that authentic fried rice flavor, I guess. If you don't want to put the egg in, then you definitely do not have to, but I literally just scramble it until it is done, and then we will mix it all together. And just like that, you can have some 0 to 1 point fried rice. You really can't tell that this is cauliflower, in my opinion. It's that fried rice seasoning packet. It really gives it the flavor. And so just like that, the egg is done. So I'm going to just mix it all. It's hard to do this with one hand, but y'all get the idea. We're going to mix it all in there. And then this is pretty much done and ready to be plated up. Give my chicken another mix. I'm going to turn everything down on low. And we will be ready to plate up in just a few minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, so I have the cauliflower rice plated up, and then I'm just going to top it with the Kung Pao chicken, and that will be it. Let me throw that in there real quick and this meal will be done. Okay, so I have the Kung Pao chicken all plated up, looking, smelling delicious. I did do a little taste test and it tasted pretty good, a little spicy, like we like it. And then I also wanted to show what I have with it, which I will have 1 spring roll. This is the brand that I always like to use. We like to cook these in the air fryer on the night that we're going to eat it. And then I will have 2 of the chicken pot stickers. And so that's like 3 points for the 2 pot stickers, 3 points for this. And then I think 1 point altogether for this whole meal, because almost everything in it is 0 points. Just the sauce actually ends up giving it a point. So this is like a good, what, 7, 8 point meal, something like that, if my math is correct. So if you want like a really high volume filling meal, I would definitely recommend this. That is going to be low in points. Then you have some points to spare for some little goodies like this. But this is the brand. I always like to show it whenever I show the meal, because I get a lot of questions on what brand of spring rolls and pot stickers that we use. And these are the ones. Thai Pie chicken pot stickers, Chung's spring rolls. Okay, so lastly today we are going to make the banana bread, and this is from Life with Hannah Banana. It's on her Instagram page. I always just pull this up whenever I'm going to do the recipe. It's so simple though. You just need 1 sugar-free cake mix, a yellow cake mix. You can also do it with the chocolate. I have tried it with the chocolate once, but I do find that this one seems sweeter, so I like it this way better. You need at least 3 ripe bananas. I have 4 here. I'm going to try to just go ahead and use them all. I feel like there's some bad spots because some of them have like busted open. So I'm just going to use what I can out of them that's not completely bad. 2 eggs. I know I have 3 eggs there, but I'm probably just going to discard the carton and put the 1 egg back in the fridge. And then a dash of vanilla extract. And then we will sprinkle some Lakanto monk fruit sweetener on top. It makes it nice and crispy and sweet. And then of course a bread pan and the pan baking spray, or you can make it into muffins. I've never done that. We always just like to bake it in the cake. This does take about 45 to 50 minutes or so to bake, so this does take a few minutes. So I'm going to throw it together real quick so we can get her in the oven. Oven is preheating to 350. Alrighty guys, so I have my 2 eggs in there and my bananas. I'm just going to use my good old potato masher to mash the bananas up, and then we will add in the cake mix and a dash of vanilla and get it all mixed up well, and it'll be ready to go in the pan. It's that easy. I don't think there is a way to actually mess this up unless you overcooked it or something. And it's so delicious, and it comes out to I think 4 points per slice if you slice it into 10 slices, and maybe 5 points if you do 8 slices. Okay, bananas are mashed, eggs are in there. We're gonna do a splash of vanilla, and we're gonna add in a sugar-free yellow cake mix. And I'm gonna mix this up really well and pour it into the bread pan. Okay, so the banana bread is in the pan. The last step is to sprinkle some fruit sweetener on top. To me, this is the best part of the whole thing. I mean, it's all delicious, but I do like to do a nice little layer on here. You can go as heavy or as light as you want to, but it does kind of give it a sweet little crunch. All right, so that's it. We're going in the oven 45 to 50 minutes. Alrighty guys, here is the banana bread fresh out of the oven. She is piping hot. I had to let it cook for about 50 to 52 minutes or so until the knife came out clean. So this definitely needs to set and cool, and then we will cut it into the 10 slices. Alrighty guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's meal prep. If you haven't yet, be sure to click that subscribe button down below. Hit that like button. It really helps support my channel. Thank you so much to all of my Jennifer's Gems that make it all the way to the end. I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.